Welcome to the Clarity Room, a space for honest conversations and clear thinking.
This is where we slow things down, step away from the noise, and talk openly about real experiences without hype or judgment.
We pause, reflect, and try to make sense of the world as it actually is.
Today's episode is called Money Unfiltered.
You know, I can't tell you how many times someone's told me to just cut out coffee to save money. But if you're barely scraping by, those tips feel so out of touch. It's like, what coffee? I'm not buying lattes every day.
Seriously, it's wild. A lot of traditional advice is written for people who have room to mess up or experiment. If you're down to your last $50 after rent, skipping takeout isn't going to magically fix things. You need strategies that actually fit real life, not just theory.
Exactly. And honestly, there's so much shame built into the mainstream advice. This idea that you're bad with money just because you don't have much left over, it's so unfair.
What gets me is, if you're living on $20K or $30K a year and you're still keeping the lights on, that's real financial skill. The way the system's set up, just surviving is an achievement. Nobody talks about that. It's always just budget better.
That actually reminds me, I used to guess at my monthly expenses and always felt lost by payday. Everything changed when I started tracking where my money actually went, even if it was just for 1 month.
I hear you. I did the whole receipt in the wallet thing for a month and it was eye-opening. I realized I was leaking small amounts like $7 here or $10 there that added up fast. Knowing the real numbers made it way less scary to face.
And it's not about judgment, right? It's just data like, okay, I spent $40 more on groceries than I thought. Once you see those patterns, you can start to tweak things. No shame attached.
That's the key. It's not about beating yourself up. If you're honest with your numbers, you find opportunities. I saved $25 a month just by canceling 2 old subscriptions I'd forgotten about, literally money back in my pocket.
Once you've got the numbers, then the question becomes, where does it make sense to cut or shift things? I love the idea of splitting expenses into tiers, because not every bill is created equal.
Exactly. Rent, food, and medicines, those are your non-negotiables. But stuff like subscriptions or takeout? That's where you can make changes without wrecking your life. I shaved $60 off my streaming and dining out, and honestly, I didn't even miss most of it.
What surprised me most is how even a $20 savings isn't chump change on a tight budget. It's real. That's $240 a year, and that could be the difference between handling an emergency or not.
Right. People underestimate that. When you add up the little wins, cutting a couple of services, negotiating a phone bill, that's where you finally catch your breath. It's not glamorous, but it's powerful.
Funny you say that negotiating bills was something I was nervous about at first, but the difference is wild. The scripts are like permission slips to just ask, can you do better?
Totally. The first time I called my internet company, I was so ready to get rejected, but they dropped my bill by $20 just because I asked. Companies expect people to haggle. Most folks just never do.
And the best part? If the first person says they can't help, you just politely ask for a supervisor. It's not about being difficult. It's about standing up for your own bottom line.
I had a friend use the medical bill script, and they cut her bill in half with a payment plan. It's like, the system is designed for negotiation, but no one tells you that growing up. If you don't ask, you're just handing companies extra cash.
After getting bills down, I realized there were benefits I might qualify for that I'd never even checked. Sometimes the real win is just filling out the paperwork, even if it feels intimidating.
Same here. I finally applied for SNAP and utility assistance after years of feeling weird about it, and it freed up $150 a month. That's money for my emergency fund, which I'm slowly building $10 a week at a time.
And for the first time, I set up a high-yield savings account. It's not a fortune, but watching that balance grow, even by $10 at a time, makes a huge difference for my peace of mind.
Starting to invest even a tiny amount feels like a power move, too. I set up $10 a month in a target date fund so hands-off that I barely notice, but I know it's building towards something. It's about momentum, not perfection.
You know, the biggest shift for me was realizing I didn't have to change everything overnight. Just one action, like negotiating a bill or tracking spending, created a ripple effect.
Exactly. I used to get overwhelmed by all the advice. Now I just focus on the next step. Maybe it's signing up for a cashback app or doing a side gig for the first time. Each small win builds real confidence.
And even if it feels slow, like it took me months to get my emergency fund to $500, it's still progress. Each month I check off another action. I feel less stressed and more in control.
That's the heart of it. We're not aiming for overnight wealth, just steady, practical moves. If all you do today is cancel one subscription or track 1 week of spending, that's a real win. It adds up.